Really excited to see how they're going to play.
Well, we're getting to see how they play right here and now because we're kicking off the pistol round on Breeze. The Guild attack side about to be pushed on, and Russ had no idea, but they still managed to catch off Kata. Players covering from afar as the flash rounded the corner, and Brahms, he's tempted to go for it and see if they're still around here. Catches them retreating, and Guild definitely have gained the upper hand in this early engagement.
Control continues to be super important.
Yeah,
we see
solid
the
start.
Place there at the very
We're now
end
going
of
to be
it. I would
witnessing
like to
just
kind
an
of
almost
see
complete rotation out from the defensive
a
side
little
as B is left almost completely open.
control
Bram's still going to try and hold on to at least a little bit of control, but with a lot of his utility elsewhere, it'll be very difficult if they do decide to push in this direction. But with the space that's still being garnered elsewhere, the information that is around for Guild with all the utility that they have placed, just watching into mid, knowing that there's not been much aggression. Realistically, they'll be a little bit unlucky if they go walking into what is currently a stack site, but by the looks of it, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, with 35 seconds left on the clock, Tom, there really isn't a lot of time to switch things back up on a big map like Breeze. And just look, you've already got Trex making his way in through the halls. Looks like he's got a really good sense of timing on this one. Nobody ready for him, and all this pressure inside of main, it's just going to allow Trex to come up behind and catch a free kill. Not quite the second, though, as aim letting him down a little bit. And Guild are going to struggle to get anything done here as it closes.
This one, as expected, not going to be a massive investment. I'm happy to see that Safe is still sticking around on that duelist. I will be honest, when I saw Trex coming into the fray, I was thinking, oh, okay, he's probably going to go back to his Sentinel. Trex will take the duelist role, and we'll get back to a similar style to what we saw, but maybe with a stronger Jet. Instead, Safe has pretty much just gone straight into the Jet role that he was playing a little bit before, and he looks incredibly good on it. Now, I will say that in terms of the man facing off against him, I think so far out of all the teams they played against, this is the toughest Jet opposition he's had.
Yeah, I think I'd be right there with you, and we'll see how those battles will start to evolve. Sander really wants to peek that. He's going to be spotted by the drone. They start to now make their way out, but right into the hands of Brahms. And he's going to stop any sort of trading from coming down as the spike falls, as Snakebite lands inside that orb, and it is pretty much done before it even starts. They've got all of their bases covered. They know that that trap wire was destroyed inside of halls. They know exactly where Cordamenta is going to be playing, and so Safe is all alone to try clutch this out. Really clean by Vitality so far. And they have the opportunity to walk out of this one without losing a single rifle. Those two players that are close, though, are one hit to the body by Safe. So this is a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, he's also kind of one hit to anything. Although if he's just going to no-scope them out of the server, it might feel stuck on this Breeze. But obviously for the teams, if the map changed out that quickly, it would be a little bit harsh for all of the practice they've done. Like all of those Christmases, all of those New Years would have been wasted for nothing. Barber would be furious.
That he would. He'd still view them as an underdog. I guess
you're always an underdog. You're never disappointed. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Set the bar for yourself low. That's what I like.
That's what I do in life, just in general.
That's my life.
I have a very low bar. I've already succeeded more than I thought I would. I'm doing fantastic.
I had to stop disappointing people, so I stopped making promises.
Exactly. There you go. My parents can't be disappointed in me. I'm already disappointed in myself.
Oh, this is great information for Sander. He knows there's a player close. And there's the peek, the punish, the Safe goes down. The Jet entry no longer there to play with. B-side's completely open, but Sander knows they haven't pushed in. That trap wire gone, information to be found, Cage up to delay, and he's letting his teammates rotate in. Sander still wants to pressure towards halls.
Yeah, it was very risky running in there, but it's because he wanted the neuro theft. He wanted that information for his team so that they could go for that risky rotation in a round where they almost have to take a gamble. He's still fighting with 5 HP and a rifle. Like, normally I'd be screaming for him to give it over to a teammate, but already managing to give a 2-man advantage over to Vitality in their bonus, Guild need to fight back.
Look at Kata up close as well. He's dashed on out. That's not an ideal fight. They need to take Trex down. He's got prime real estate to deny any sort of diffuse going down, and this round is now just falling apart. Great play by Trex, making up for some earlier mistakes, and now this round is locked in indeed, with Shadow soon to fall.
Coming out from that defensive side, Cadaver already going to have his operator in play, so actually it's going to be a pace change. Very fast take on him from Guild.
Right on into the side, exactly like I was saying a couple of rounds ago, you know, when we talked about Safe with the rifles in his hand, or last round even, during that the tech pause. You look at Safe when he's not playing that operator, he's got to be opening the space, dashing on in. They just pop a wall B, dash into the site, got control. Normally you'll see it on the A site, but a lot of teams like to pressure on this attack, but Gilder already showing us a very successful B take with a 5v4 retake. And Coldamenta, he's using the wall, he's crept up behind Brams. That is a brainy play.
That's as free as it gets, Russ. Screwed. Good flash. Kada already finding another one. Shadow's got the biggest crosshair known to mankind. Can he find a headshot with it? No, he can't. Maybe try a smaller one. Leo will give that advantage back, and for the remainder of Vitality, it is forced into a save. Still, again, it got a little bit more dangerous than I expected it to. It was looking very clean initially for Guild, but the fact is, they're getting these afterplants early enough that Vitality...
Spot. Then it was fine, but now that it's being punished so early into the game, in a buy round, you start to get a little bit worried. That's an adjustment that has to be made coming into the next. And then that's something for Guild to play off of. They know now that the B hold's going to be weaker. Coming into this round, they're just up against pistols for the most part, but I mean, that operator in the hands of Cadavra can do a lot of damage. And with already a couple of kills going their way, all of a sudden they're favored to win this. Cat has been taken down. Sender still has a rifle, and you cannot count this man out when he's got a rifle in his hand.
Yeah, he's been excellent so far, but well, the shot that back just hit was truly grotesque. Unfortunately,
One enemy remaining.
himself much. He's going to be safe already, dropping Sender, and now, well, sorry, Shadow is going to be the one looking to lock in. Finds himself a rifle. Clearly that crosshair can hit headshots, and now he just needs one more. Doesn't seem like he's going to use it early. That's one of the normal ways to play this, is to basically just ult almost instantly and try and lock it down. Trex, I think he's just been owned there. Like, it was his teammate pushed in initially, and he's just found instead. Coldamenta's actually going to be the one to use his ult to lock down the site. The Viper's Pit will give them a free plant and make this retake fairly difficult, especially with no ultimates available for Vitality. They're hoping for a little bit of luck.
Shock Dart's going to go through and not really find them anything. Luck definitely not on their side to start with. And yeah, Bram's using his orb to defend. Worked well. He managed to get a kill, slow down the push, but ultimately, you know, he wanted to use that ulti then if they did push in for retake or something like that, but that has not worked out, and now they almost have no chance for Vitality getting in through this kind of Viper utility. The players that Guild had to the advantage as well, there was virtually no way for this one to work out. You had to drop Coldamenta, and he's just been hiding.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Coldamenta has to be given quite a lot of credit for a lot of these rounds, because the call that he's made for these fast B hits is definitely a bold one. Like, if there's a couple of players there's some decently placed Viper utility, they could easily get caught out.
We're going to invest a little bit more BMVAC on just that single Vandal, and when you look at the B side, look, there's going to be some sound hurt. Brams might pop his ulti, but he's playing with a Sheriff, and then that completely changes my mind. Man's got a Ghost, sure, but you're not going to play inside a Viper's Pit with this. I'll fire back at the Tracers and take you easily, so he's instead going to dance around the site. He completely caught off. They're still managing to trade a lot of these kills, but the problem is, surprise factor for Sender, Hunter's Fury then on the follow-up. Now they've got to take heads-up aim duels against these rifles, and that's where things completely fall apart, especially with back going down.
It's left onto Shadow.
No chance.
Nice shot onto the first. Second play. Lost it. Like, okay, let's make sure that we're as dominant as we need to be. And oh, that's not gone well for Sender. Kada actually dashes into that. He goes to try and fight it. Well, there's a second player just waiting, watching. Must be a little bit bemused as how easy that kill was. Again, this B site, well, it's just a B-site retake simulator at the moment. The Seekers have shown that all the remaining players are on the other side of the map as well, so it's already over. We're done with round number 8.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much locked in. That spike ticking away. You can clearly see Vitality are attempting a save, but Guild are right on top of them. They are looking to take them down, and not let them away with anything. Already Trex is going to be dropped and found, trying to hunt them down. They don't know. The Shadow is right down below. Doors open. Honestly, this is starting to look good for Vitality, where they're getting a lot of info on these Guild players hunting them down. They could end up dropping some of these attacker rifles. And, you know, I was complimenting Guild's economy, but if they end up dropping, you know, all the rifles on these hunts, it could get a little bit shaky for them, that's it. already looking at 6-2, so I suppose they're not too worried.
Site, like Back has opted to try and take it. He's got himself one of the rifles, so that's probably the reason why. But realistically, it is still just going to be mostly leaning into this A side.
At Hunter's Fury, it's already found the first. We might not be a big fan of those super early round Hunter's Furies, but at least there has been a connection for it. Vitality
Get out of my way.
being on the back foot pretty much every step of the way. And now with Cadavra taking the Blade Storm, but Sanders still on a pistol and 45 health. Not looking any better to start this one off. The B side only has one defender, Tom, and I mean, look at this. Sure, Vitality are starting to push up on A. A little bit late. They might be able to catch Cold Dementia, but on the B side, it's only back to defend, and nobody is anywhere close. He has to hold on, and he's already 24 health.
Oh, Save's going up above, just trying to hunt him down. There has been a kill on the other side, but it's going to be back to fall. Sure, the knives are gone, but there's still an operator in play. Now, the rest of the team not really able to cross right now. The flash will at least grant them a path, but already the remaining players are rotating through. Now, one has been caught on the flank. I believe that's Kada, and so
30
they know
seconds
at
left.
least that he's coming in from behind, and they need something here from Shadow, but he gets nothing as well. Trex just trading out too, and again, putting this in a really horrible spot. He'll finally get dropped.
Although I look at Brams, my man's bought a Vandal. He's bought a Vandal. Bought a
He's going for those headshots.
He
you know?
played. No. He played. I
know,
just want
I
to be
know,
very
I
clear. He
know,
played
I
with a
know.
Phantom every other round. He has bought a Vandal, and now he.
Does more damage, you know? Like, easier to get kills in the pit. All right? That's what you're
fine.
thinking.
I'm fine with that. I'm so fine with that. It's okay.
Look how far Russ has already got. Like, the drone's going to go past, but that's the thing. It spots the player close, but they have no idea that he's already gone through. That is such an oversight. He should not be able to get this far without anybody realizing that this is starting to look very, very shaky for Vitality. Okay, Shadow will eventually peek and take down Safe, and they still have that Viper's Pit. Timing's everything, and Brams will win the duel. It's turned the round at least into their favor, and with Kada pushing
down
aggressively,
mid.
that'll be the spike down and another dropped.
Well, this round for Vitality seems to be going quite well. They've got the spike yet again, and Trex, despite having what would be a pretty good position most of the time, is going to have to play back into his own spawn to get that spike
30
back. He's
seconds
about to be
left.
spot. Oops, not going to be spotted. Okay, but he'll walk right into the operator of Kada. If it's still looking his way, he's in a lot of trouble. Oh no, that's an awkward fight, and now he'll be executed from behind as well.
Push for free in a lot of rounds now, like with early B-side executions, mid takes that get them a split in as well. It is very scary with how things have gone.
Man, that is an interesting Viper's Pit. Sender's already behind it, and he's taking a double. This is absolutely ridiculous. Gil trying to fight their way into mid. I don't think I've ever seen that pit before. And Sender has just aced the round.
Still manages to switch back to the Vandal and find the shot once again. No surprise, it's going to be back to the B site for Vitality here. Kadado's in a pretty decent spot, and he's already seen one of them at least.
Two Guardians and a Spectre to play with here for Guild. This isn't the best of times to really be getting up close and personal. Certainly not the best of times to be whiffing the shots, but luckily, Brams has got that memo. He's able to take a double before falling. The B site comes with a heavy cost, and that cost just keeps on stacking up. Leo
Standing.
drops the spike in the open now, and look at that. Trex is being spotted. You know exactly where he is, and with a Spectre, he's trying to close in that distance. Alexander will do it for him. That's all right. He'll take that upgraded weapon, 1v2, and even the ulti to play with. So this is kind of scary now, Tom.
Yeah, I think the information he's going to get is probably exactly what he will expect where the spike currently is, but it at least clears out some of these close wraparound angles, so it's not going to be impossible. He does actually have a cage, so he could just try and steal it, but I think he wants to try and even things up a little bit more before he does that. Well,
Game, and
yeah.
Put that in context that they had already just won the first round in a long time. They had that little bit of morale. And then there's the ace. Now coming into this half, despite a pretty terrible 20 minutes of gameplay, they had a bad time. They're now coming in and they're like, hey, we can win this again. And this pistol could work wonders for that goal.
Oh, yeah. 5 rounds on the defense. I think most teams would take that going into the map. Like, that's pretty decent. Brams as well. This is ready for safety. checks. Okay, just goes up. He's like, all right, I expect you to be there. I know you're going to be waiting, and just gets a free kill.
He's seen them. He's going to reveal that, though. The recon giving it away for now. The shock dart on the way, but Safe keeps on delivering. He's already got 3 and leaving Shadow on just 1 health. The
So someone takes over, wins you a round, and you're right back in it mentally.
Yeah, that's what it is all about. Now the opportunity to continue snowballing those rounds through. You look at Vitality, they've brought out a Marshall, but so have Guild, and the difference being nobody on Vitality has got shields to work with. These players are squishy. They're easy to deal with in most of these fights for most of the weapons that Guild have to play with, but now they've lost one of them as Kata connects a headshot onto Russ. Giving another weapon over to them. A lot of control and a good amount of space now as they go to the B site. A plant can be found nice and easily. They've cleared it entirely. And forgot that mid exists.
They've just what's going on? They're just giving up all of these kills to me.
I've got a theory. I feel like maybe I'm wrong here, but I think Zesh knew exactly what he was doing. That's all I'm saying.
I bet he gained loads of followers.
I bet he did. There's a right click from Safe, dealing massive damage to Kata, but in the end, he makes it away, evening up the numbers for now. Vitality of the rifles to play with. So those 1-to-1 trades, that's exactly what Guild want. Downside being that it was the Blade Storm, but considering he almost got 2 kills with it, he'll take it.
Kata's been tagged low as well, so there are real opportunities. In fact, that's another tag. 2 players on just 24 HP apiece. These Spectres become deadlier by the second, and while the Marshals coming through could kill off any one of these players, so it is starting to get very, very scary. Brams, though, lands a shot onto Trex, and that could be the difference maker. It gives them a little bit of breathing room, a chance to get on the afterplant, and while retaking with short-range weapons is never going to be easy, this duel could be everything, though. Shadow is only on 24 HP.
And he's down. Rifle to be retrieved here. Coldamenta now has a good off angle to cover his teammate as they move up. In fact, that wall is great. It's going to lock them in the backside, allow these players to start taking open fights. Brams does such a good job.
Lose it, their economy's in the bin, and Guild are going to be getting towards 11 rounds.
It's a scary thought to start this one out. Vitality's attack. Going to be a little bit of pressure on A, Viper wall there as well, but it's the B site that they look to push on into, now giving that well and truly away. Trex is trying to make it to the left side. Those players have pushed right past his utility by now. How have they still been caught? Why did they not destroy it? They revealed it. I'm so confused. And Trex is able to just sideswipe and take this round.
Oh, that is awful as well, because they suppressed.
He sets them up. We're coming back into this one. As we can see, they haven't really got anything to work with. 2 rifles, a stinger, and pistols. They're going to have to use their Blade Storm here on Kata, who's already pushed into the B site. And going to look to take that control with the Viper wall they've got down. It looks like it's going to be a pretty clean plant at least. And that will be then a Viper's pit.
Okay, well, Vax's just been wrecked. Like, that's the thing. They set up exactly the same way with the utility from Trex, but Trex was not there. So you could see the players basically looking to try and find out where he is this time, and they still haven't got rid of his cam. The players could just look to try and go for wallbangs. A lot of damage has come in onto Brams. Shadow, though, and Brams are going to come up big. A shorty kill, something you never really want to see, but is still happening with Safe, and he's right in the face of another. Brams is just using a stinger in his Viper's pit, and it's done a lot of damage. Now it's into that 1 versus 1. Sender facing off against Trex. The time ticking down. He's got that defuse halfway through, but the cage is almost leaving. This is a bit of a ruse from the cam, making it clear that he's not on the spike, and Sender has played this one to perfection. There is not enough time for Trex to do anything.
They end up just about edging out the round and putting it at 10-7.
Is yours frozen again? Oh, I can see the dart flying over. Whee.
All right, let's just watch the dart then. Oh, never mind.
No, bring it back. Bring it back. We need that.
Give us our 3rd person guy. Just fly over the site. It'll work better. There we what? Whoa! All right, we're on the site. And it looks like Vitality are too. They've pushed on past. They've got the same Viper wall down that we'd seen before. And they're going to look to take this B site. Same plant, but this time, Tom, they don't have that Viper's pit. And that was, as we'd already mentioned, a big turning point of the round previously.
The thing is, though, it's going to come down much more to a full retake. Now, there's only one real weapon weakness, but I'm looking at Guild to try and actually pick some of these players apart. Sender is incredibly well placed, and wow, that's already Russ out on this retake. And that's the one player that was coming in from behind. Now, every single member of this Guild roster is coming in from the same direction. I think they have to back out of this one, and it's looking like both teams are having similar problems. These B-site executions, a lot of teams will opt to try and play retake here, but they just don't seem to have anything to get them actually back into the site afterwards.
Camera taken out.
Trex, there's one at least. No, but he's dropped right afterwards. Operator shot coming out of safe makes this much, much more workable. Sander and Kadavra having to hold on to it, but that time is ticking away, and these weapons looking to just save over inside of the halls, inside of spawn. Everything going their way now to start this second half, and yet Vitality are not letting it go.
If they didn't lose a round to a Stinger, this realistically could have been over. Like that's the real scenario we're looking at right now. That saved Vitality's economy, and well, now we're going to see the null command thrown in towards this A site. A switch up. The spike's still quite far behind, but they're using this just to try and garner a little bit of extra space. And again, it's looking like Guild are almost set to just play this retake. Now, it looks like a buy because of the weapons that they saved, but bear in mind that Trex and Russ still have some pretty weak weapons.
Spike planted.
As his timer ticks on, you got to take the fight eventually. It's not ideal with, like you were saying, those weaker weapons. Use the flashes. Teammates coming out to cover the angles with that operator. Lock down a lot of the ranged ones. Look for the Spectres up close, but Russ and Safe dealt with immediately. One for Trex, but they need more. They need so much more, and now they're starting to find it. With Kata down, but the timer is really the biggest constraint here. And the Hunter's Fury is going to guarantee that, but hold on. That's going to get the kill. Okay, this should be done. 1v1, already halfway to fuse, but Shadow's going to swing out. Hold on, actually, it's going to be close.
Playing a Cypher? Not really. Have I enjoyed it? Definitely.
Can't use that.
I can't really disagree with you on that one. It did seem like a bit of a strange pick. A bit of a strange start to this round as well for Vitality, leaving the spike all the way inside of
Scout
spawn.
destroyed.
And talk about a slow round for this attack. I think with the fact that they're looking to push up mid, take these fights the way they are with a Marshal. I'm not really like I'm looking at this from Guild's perspective, right? You have the operator, it's looking over mid. They don't need to move. They can just sit down on their defaults, hold it out, and this is something that Vitality are hoping that Guild make a mistake, that they overextend, that they overcommit towards fights. But for now, that's not the case. Guild are just chilling.
Patient play. No need to get aggressive, especially when you know your opponent's economy is somewhat on the brink. Ornamenta, those in a little bit of trouble here. 49 HP, he's just going to get taken out straight away from back, and well, suppressed in the corner. An operator definitely not ideal for this sort of play. So the trade's coming through thick and fast. Again, this B-side for both teams has looked vulnerable. Leo will at least get one back, but it's at the cost of his teammate Russ.
As they start to close in the distance now, looking to avenge Russ. The angles are being watched. There's too many players for Vitality on that backside, and not enough for Guild to really, not enough utility for them to push them out. At this point, Trex is just looking to save. At least you would imagine so. He's fighting a lot.
For pretty much the whole of the last season. It has changed drastically in this matchup. Like, everybody just seems to be having so much success, like, pushing into that B site, having much stronger afterplants than we're used to seeing. And well, from a very passive attempt to a very aggressive one coming out from Guild. Only a Blade Storm alongside some pistols this time, so they're going to take a bit of a risk. Unfortunately, they didn't manage to retrieve any form of weaponry, so although it's a man advantage, Vitality is still very much in the driver's seat.
But the B side again looking so tempting. You can just walk right in, and they're starting to peek out on these angles and really experiment with it. Indeed, get very close to destroying that cam. Eventually, that Viper wall does come down. And you can see that the temptation has pulled them in. And they'll be going for B as Russ falls elsewhere on the map, trying to get aggressive. But looks like that doesn't deter Guild. Safe is going to do exactly the same, starting to move up to the window, or Kata currently is. This is a free kill. Oh, no! Oh, save! He's completely whiffed it! Kata gets away with the freest kill of his life, and now Vitality, well, they are in the driver's seat. They've got the man advantage, and it's only building. That could have been the round for them. What a whiff.
now, Mitch.
I'll tell you what, if I'm safe and I've got an op right now, I'm not blaming him for pushing up. You want to recover your honor almost from the previous round, right? But Cat is the one picking up the opening. Leo to fall at the hands of this Jet operator. Been wreaking havoc in these last few rounds as Vitality once again set their sights on B. The fact that they've heard that Viper's Pit go down does not deter them. They still have a drone to work with as well. Shadow having that online this late into the round could be super useful, but he's about to take a risky fight as they push all the way through halls, and Russ will eliminate him. Now that Viper's Pit becomes so much more difficult to handle.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of space around mid because of the amount of players that push. Safe will be watching it, supporting his player from afar, and well, knowing there's at least a couple of players in that direction and the aggressive push from Russ, Vitality have deduced that there must be an opening on this A site.
Yeah, well, they know those players have pushed up through halls. They know there's a Viper's Pit and a second player on B with an op. So are you going to play Viper's Pit and op, or are you going to play two other dudes you kind of know where they are? It's the movement back towards the A side. But it's the problem is, because halls is being taken, look at the rotate from Kata. It's going to take so long. Every corner, every corridor needs to be cleared. And in fact, he's about to run into Russ. And no! Russ stepped back and away just as Kata came back into cave. The question is, does Russ have an idea? And even if he doesn't, he's going to go towards cave to try and catch these A players. They're about to meet each other, and it's Kata that ends up coming out on top as Russ falls. That is cave secured, and Vitality, oh well, with that op kill, they look set to take this round across the line.
That was absolutely everything. Russ looks away for a literal second, and that's enough to give the space to Kata. Now Trex fighting back in. He's found an angle. There's some space into the site, knowing exactly where one of the remainder is now, especially with Kata. He can give the information over to Safe. He's looking to try and peek that with the operator. Rams is still on the site itself, but that is...
Anywhere to help him. This man is solely and entirely alone with the bookie. Luckily, Vitality are going the other way, and they're going right into Safe, who's already taken the first, who's going in for more, and doing a massive amount of damage. A Shock Dart about to go through after that damage was done, and Brams falls. Oh my god! Vitality are running into these pistols, and they're getting obliterated. Another one for Russ, and here comes a flank play. Sure, they've caught Trex, but there's still so many more to deal with.
Well, I will say, Codiment has the worst flank weapon of all time, so all he can do is hold them in. He cannot push off of this, but it doesn't matter!
If they push you within the first 30 seconds, they're dead. If they don't push you in the first 30 seconds, your A players have pushed up, and they're now flanking them. You know, you use your snake bite, slow them, bookie snake bite, it's already going to be good. Then you have a flank, you've got them crunched in. It's a good gamble for the round that it was, and it worked out perfectly with catching them in A main. I just really hate it.
Well, you can see this time they're making sure that they destroy all of the utility. What? Okay, Leo. That might be the most tags I've ever seen coming out from one blast of a Hunter's Fury, and this is looking done. Look how low these players are. They are in a 3 versus 5. 2 players have 105 HP between them, and Kata is being isolated. It's left all on to Sender. On their map choice, the first map of a best of 5 in a decent position, and it has slipped away to some pistols and a ridiculous Hunter's Fury. Can he do anything here to try and turn